two of the most short and powerful words in our language. It's yes and no. Yes and no. Small words, but they can radically change your life. Understand this. Pay close attention to what I will tell you. Do not despise the simplicity of these words, otherwise you will miss the power of these words. Jesus said, "But let your yes mean yes and no mean no." In other words, why did he repeat yes, yes, and no, no? What he meant is, let your yes be yes when you say yes. It's not the type of yes that later you say, actually, it's not just as I said. No, if you said yes, it's yes. That's why he repeated, yes, yes. Do not change what you say. Think well before speaking. And no, mean no. And he added, for whatever is more than this comes from the evil one. Why? Whatever is more than this comes from the evil one. Because it comes from the doubt. It generates and promotes uncertainty. It promotes dishonesty, insecurity. And that's why it comes from the evil one. Because when you base your life on doubt, insecurity, dishonesty, you are building your life upon evil. You are sowing a future problem to yourself. So Jesus taught us to be very careful, strict on our speaking with our yes and with our no. Yes and no are decisive words. Yes and no are decisive, which means are words that demand us to take a decision. Will you go with me to this place? I need to decide. Either I will or I will not. Will I accept the invitation, follow this person to a certain place or not? Then I have to say either yes or no. It's a decision that I need to make. Will I eat this food that the doctor prescribed to not eat because it's harming my health? Will I say yes to the food and no to my health? Or will I say yes to my health and no to my appetite? Decision. And not only decisions in the sense of yes or no being decisive words, but also they are words that promise something, which means you are bringing that to your own future, because if you say, I'll go with you to that certain place, you're making a promise. That person will count on you to be on that time, in that hour, in that place. You promise. Your yes was promising. Or your no would have set you free from that promise. That's why we have to learn to say no more often. There are many people who do not know how to say no. Afraid of displeasing someone, they say yes, yes, and yes. Once they mean to say no, and they disappoint the person. So it's way better for you to say no, I won't do that, I can't. No, I won't promise you anything. It's better for you to say no, to be truthful, than for you to bring hope to someone and you frustrate that hope. You change your words. That shows that you are a distrustful person. Many people have to learn to say no more often. I remember that I had an experience with two different cultures, the British culture and the South African culture. I worked on both places, both countries, in England and in South Africa. And in England, what is very interesting is that when you meet someone on the street and you speak to the person, listen, You start a conversation presenting yourself, and you say that you are a Christian, and you invite that person to come to the church. The British person usually will tell you in your face, no, I won't go. They didn't have the fear, I wouldn't say rude, but to be truthful. They don't have the fear on displeasing you. And we had to deal with that no. At least we didn't have a false hope. But in South Africa, I remember that the South African, wonderful people, so pleasant. How can I say? What is the right word? A smiling, happy people. But many times, in the same situation, we will say, I invite you to come to the church. Do you accept? The person will say yes, being afraid of saying no, but they wouldn't show up. And later, they wouldn't show up. Which means, sometimes the person is afraid of saying no to not displease, and they end up looking bad, becoming a distrustful person. So many people don't understand the power of the yes and of the no. And within these words, there is this promise that you make between you and other people. And the worst of all is not what you do with other people. When you say to someone yes and you end up not fulfilling the promise, you say no and then you end up doing something else. The worst is not with other people, but when you lie to yourself. When you lie to yourself, for example, you put on the alarm, you go to sleep, you set up the alarm to wake you up at 6 a.m. But when you set up the alarm for 6 a.m., in your head, you already know. When the alarm sounds, I'll press the snooze. Which means you don't want to wake up at 6 a.m. You're lying to yourself. You are lying to yourself. If you're going to wake up at 6:10, then put for 6:10. Why do you set up for 6 and you press the snooze button? So you end up lying to yourself, being deceived. You say, I will do this, I will do that. Knowing deep down, you know you won't do it. Then what do you create? You create a culture of lying to yourself. One of the worst things that you can do with yourself. Think with me. You don't like when someone lies to you, do you? When someone lies at your face, you don't like that. Nobody likes to be a target of a lie. Very well. But when you lie to yourself, what do you think about you lying to yourself? Promising something to yourself that you know you won't fulfill it. Deep down you say, I know I won't fulfill it, but you're saying anyway. You are creating this culture on deceiving yourself, this culture of not believing in yourself. The message that you're giving to yourself is, listen, I'm not worthy of trust. What I say is worth for nothing. My decisions don't remain. My words are meaningless. That's what you're telling yourself, which means you are destroying yourself. You are being your worst enemy. That's why Jesus said, whatever is more than this comes from the evil one. You're bringing evil to yourself. When you don't use the yes or no as they should be used, with seriousness, transparency, truth, honesty, well, if you want to change your life in this year, begin with your words. It's very simple for you to change that, starting with your words. Maybe you're going to stumble at first, if you're very used on saying something, doing something else. Maybe you're going to stumble at some moments, but when you stumble, you will remember what I just told you. You will remember these words here, and you'll say, I'm sorry. I said yes, but I meant no. No, I won't promise you anything. I can't promise anything. Or you're gonna say, I can't help you at this moment. I prefer to tell you no than to say yes and disappoint you later on. You're gonna start to correct yourself, to correct the way you speak. You're gonna be more courageous to say no to people, but courageous to say yes. when you have the courage to accept a challenge that usually you wouldn't accept, a commitment you wouldn't make. You start to watch over your words, that they may align with your actions. And then, dear friends, you will see how your life will move ahead, how your life will change with this small adjustment, for you to learn to say yes when it's truly yes and no when it's truly no. And to not go more than this. Your life will take a different path. Later, you come back here and leave a comment and say what happened as a result of this. Do it, because the Word of God never fails.
Did you like this? Would you like to hear it again? Listen to it as many times as you need until this content becomes part of you. Don't forget to leave your like, comment, and share. See you next time.